I've experienced a lot of it as well. You know, I've recently just celebrated 15 years of marriage with my wife, and it's a very different relationship from what it was when we were dating over 15 years ago. Completely different. But when you adopt that approach of mutual growth together, it never gets boring because there's always an opportunity for growth, right? There's always a niggle or something you disagree on or something you have a different perspective on. And if you can shine the mirror up and go, what can I learn here primarily about myself? It's arguably the best. It's a masterclass in your own inner world, isn't it? You've got that mirror around you all the time. You get, you get to be a black belt in yourself if you approach your relationship in that way.
Yes. And that's what exactly. You've fully understood what I'm trying to get at. It's what is life ultimately about, if not about growth, learning, and joy. And I argue that growth and learning are the greatest joy, because when you grow and learn, you can deal with all your problems better. See, what we don't understand is that entertainment is, and I love entertainment, by the way. I'm not hating on entertainment. I love TV. I love movies. I'm a big fan of all of that. But entertainment is an escape. And when you escape your problems, you come back to them with less time and the same amount of knowledge. When you elevate, when you learn and you grow, you come back to your problems with more skills, more insights, and more tools, so life becomes more joyful. And so you have this choice every day to escape or elevate, and your partner can either be your escape or be someone you elevate with. Now, go on escapes, go on dates. I'm not, of course, me and Radhi love to travel together, of course, but the core spirit of that is growing and learning. So it's not that we don't go out for dinners. Of course, that's all great, but don't lose the spirit and the heart of we're trying to help each other become the best versions of ourselves and reach our potential. That's the kind of person I want to be married to.
Before we wrap up our conversation, I wanted to briefly touch on the three commonest sources of conflict that you write about. These are the three things I think many people will relate to this, that couples fight about: money, bringing up kids, and sex. Yep. And as a doctor, something I have seen many, many times, people would come in to see me and they would talk about their sex lives and, the frustrations, whether it's, a different desire compared to their partner. What does that say about them? Let's not go through all three. I don't think we'll have time for that. But particularly on the conflict around sex, I think this is really, really common. And in your practice of coaching people and coaching them through their relationships for years, I'm sure this must have come up. Yeah. What is really going on when there is an issue around sex in a relationship?
Yeah. So the first thing is that sex is an extremely vulnerable act, and we often don't think about it in that way. We assume it's just is. But you can't be physically vulnerable with someone when you don't feel emotionally safe with them. And I feel a lot of people don't feel emotional safety either within themselves or with their partners to be that intimate and vulnerable with their partner. Or the quality of that exchange is not as high because of the lack of emotional security and emotional vulnerability. And the reason that I found that had come about, Rangan, is because I talk about the 4 E's of intimacy in the book. And what I found was that if you look at most couples over years, the number one activity they do together, by no surprise, is watch TV together. That's the number one thing couples do every night. We watch TV together. We do this too, so I'm not beyond this or better than this. Now, if all you do is watch TV together, what's happening? There's no vulnerability, there's no intimacy, and there's no shared experience. You haven't watched the show and then talked about it and dissected it and emotionally connected. You've watched it, gone, that episode was all right. Okay, look forward to the next episode, switch it off, go to bed. There's no connection So bonding over entertainment is a very low form of intimacy. To increase our intimacy, I talk about experiences, going to date nights, going to vacations, traveling together, having new experiences together helps you learn new things about your partner. See, most of us are just used to our partners. We watch our partners wash the dishes, do the laundry, clean the house, take care of the kids. You're watching your partner do the same old 4 activities for potentially 40 years. If you don't see your partner do anything new, how are you going to have a creative spark, a moment of attraction? How are you going to fall in love with them again when all you see them do is do old things? Higher than that is experiments. I recommend that couples do things that they're both novices in. Go into a pottery class because neither of you knows how to do pottery. Go into a painting class because neither of you knows how to paint. Go out and try a surfing lesson if you can because neither of you knows how to surf. It doesn't have to be big or small. Go to an escape room. Go and do something where you both are not experts, where again, you get to learn about a new side. The reason why we've lost intimacy and connection is because we think we know our partners. We think they're the same. We think maybe they're boring. Maybe we've lost that attraction to them. And the 4th and final stage is go and do some education and engagement together. If you're learning and growing together, you're going to feel so emotionally close that the physical closeness is just a byproduct. And in engagement, if you can go and serve together, if you can go and make a difference together, the connection you feel is so much more powerful. So those are reasons why you can both work on stuff. But often we find when it comes to sex, one of the biggest things is a personal sense of dissatisfaction. Someone's not happy with their body. Someone's not happy with their own purpose and passion. Someone's going through their own disconnection with themselves. Sometimes it's not about you at all. And I think so often we make it about us. That's what I've seen in relationships with coaching. When someone doesn't want to have sex with you, you make it about you. And you go, oh, you don't have sex with me. And they're like, I just don't want to have sex. Like, I still have to figure out what's going inside of me because I'm healing trauma. I'm healing stuff from my parents. I'm healing my ex-girlfriend, boyfriend, and relationships. And I think we don't talk about any of these things. And so I think we're often expecting someone to be vulnerable and intimate with us when we are not emotionally safe and secure with them.